All right, I'd like to go ahead and officially call the Design and Review Board meeting to order and request staff confirmation that the Kansas Open Meeting Act has been properly provided.
Yes, I can confirm the packet was posted and the required notice was provided.
Thank you.
Go ahead and proceed with roll call. Board Member Nelson. Board Member Herman.
Present.
Board Member Cates.
Present.
Vice Chair Freeland.
Present.
Chair Manley. So we have 3 of the 5 appointed members here and present. That constitutes a quorum, and we have provided notice of today's meeting, so the board may proceed with today's agenda, which starts with the approval of minutes.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes from the January 23rd meeting.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from last January 23rd meeting as is. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Moving on to the first new business item.
We have one public hearing item for you today. It is a follow-up from an application that you considered in August of 2024, which was an exploratory demolition on this same building. This application has now been filed requesting that you approve a certificate of compatibility to allow exterior modifications to be made to the building located at the northwest corner of Iron and Santa Fe. And the facades being considered are the Santa Fe facade, the Iron Avenue facade, and then a rooftop feature that's proposed to be added. And Mr. Roberts is going to tell you all about them.
Great. Thanks, Dean. So Tab 2022 LLC's architect, Maggie Gillum, has now submitted plans for the proposed repairs and exterior finishes to the south and east facades of the building. The architect has found that painted stucco was applied directly to the exterior white brick and is therefore proposing to repair and restore the stucco finish on the building exterior. The stucco will be troweled to match the existing pattern, which looks like stone. The upper story windows will be repaired and restored, but not the first floor windows. And a new aluminum storefront system is proposed on the first floor of the east facade of the building, and a replacement of the storefront on the south side of the building as well. In a future phase, the building owner plans to add a rooftop space. Conceptual plans for the rooftop area are included in the elevation drawings attached to this report. So the scope of the facade renovation project includes the following exterior modifications, and the descriptions provided in the staff report came from the architect's memo that she provided as part of the application. So we'll walk through each part of that, and I will share that with you. So during the removal of the faux facade, it was discovered that the exterior walls of the building are constructed of wires of brick. A painted stucco was applied directly to the brick. So if you scroll down, Dustin, I think there's, down again, sorry. One more time. There you go. So on the right side, you can see underneath the stucco, underneath the stucco, painted stucco, there's the brick. So you can see the brick, that was the original construction of the building. And so that was covered in 1957. That was the most major renovation of the building. And so upon exploratory demolition, they found that the stucco had been applied directly to the brick, whereas we thought there might have been a protective layer between the two. So in the removal of the faux facade, some of the stucco was damaged, leaving areas of stucco that have surface chips and hairline cracks. The architect is proposing to clean up and media blast the stucco to a smooth, workable surface. The stucco will then be repaired and refinished, and will be troweled to match the existing stone pattern on the building. The removal of the faux facade also revealed a small area of real stone on the southeast corner of the building. This stone is in fair condition with minor chips and damage, and the architect's intent is to clean the stone and repair minor damage with large missing pieces filled in with a cementitious fill that matches the stone in feel and texture. The facade removal also revealed windows along the second floor of both the south and east facades that have been boarded up and painted. The architect is planning to restore these second-story windows on both facades. Damage and structural concerns with the second-level joists required that the finished floor elevation be raised approximately 5 feet from its current location. So this causes the window units themselves to be moved up. However, the window openings remain the same. So the existing storefront located on the south or Iron Avenue facade will be replaced with new doors and frames and will be inset slightly from the Iron Avenue sidewalk. The wall around the storefront will be finished with the same tile as the window openings, and the frames themselves will be a dark bronze or black color. The storefront will provide entry to a new tenant space as well as the second floor loft apartments, and a black canopy with recessed lighting on the underside will be located above the south storefront. The east facade will provide entry to the new indoor playground on the main level, as well as a separate entrance to the second floor loft apartments. These storefronts will have new black or dark bronze frames and will be finished in the same tile as the window openings. And these storefront entrances will also have black canopies with recessed lighting on the underside. The north half of the Santa Fe side of the building will have the original window openings. You can see them in this photo here. So to the north of the entry facade, at the ground level, there will be 2 window openings. These openings will have windows installed that match the other windows on the second floor, and these windows will have canopies as well that match the ones used on the storefront. Lastly, a deck and a rooftop space is being proposed for this building. The rooftop structure will be set back from the edges of the existing building to reduce visual impact on the streetscape, and the penthouse structure on top of the roof will have operable garage doors that will connect exterior and interior spaces. And the garage doors will match the proposed storefront material and color. Because this property is located within the Business Improvement District, review and approval of the proposed exterior facade changes is required by the Design Review Board before work on the exterior facade can proceed or building permits can be issued. Next, you will find the design guidelines. The design guidelines make many recommendations as far as building rehabilitation, new windows, doors, new storefronts, and color schemes. However, in our staff analysis section, we'll go over specific design guidelines in more detail. So upon uncovering the facade through the exploratory demolition, the stucco covering being applied directly to the original brick masonry has led the architect to propose a facade renovation project that retains some of the features of the building post the 1957 stucco stone facade, while installing new storefronts and repairing and cleaning the overall facade. The design guidelines recommend preserving the character-defining features of a building whenever possible, while reconstructing only the portions that are damaged beyond repair. While it was originally believed that the stucco facade was attached to plywood that was placed over the brick, in certain places the stucco was applied directly. The architect is proposing to clean and preserve the existing stucco while adding stucco to places where the facade was otherwise damaged. The proposed design also appears to retain the stone veneer on the southeast corner of the building, and it appears to staff that while the pre-1957 brick facade cannot be retained, an effort to retain elements of the post-1957 facade is evident. The proposed exterior renovation project also includes the installation of new storefronts. The design guidelines state that when an alternative storefront design is proposed, it should convey the characteristics of typical storefronts found downtown. The proposed storefronts appear to be in line with existing storefronts in color, material, the awnings, and the surrounding gray tile all appear to be aesthetically pleasing and match the overall character of the building. The proposed exterior renovation also includes the restoration of window openings located on the second story of the building. The design guidelines state that the new windows should match the material, design, and location of the original windows when possible. The location, size, and material of the windows is similar to that of the original facade. The elevation of the second floor of the interior of the building has caused the window units themselves to be slightly smaller. However, the window openings remain in the same location. Staff did notice, however, there is a lack of windows openings on the first floor of the south facade, so we would invite the project architect to share why no window openings are being proposed on the iron facade. The renovations of this building also includes the addition of an outdoor rooftop space. The materials proposed appear to be similar in character and design to the rest of the facade renovation. And additionally, the proposed rooftop modifications are set back from the edges of the roof to decrease the visual impact from Santa Fe and iron. In review of this project for compliance with the design guidelines for downtown Salina, it appears to staff that the following findings can be made to support approval of the proposed exterior facade renovations. 1, the stucco surface that was applied to the building exterior in 1957 is over 50 years old and has taken a historical significance in its own right. While this is not a restoration back to the original building facade, the character-defining features of the post-1957 structure that are intact and undamaged will be preserved. Intact features would be preserved using appropriate maintenance techniques. The proposed windows match the location and design of the original windows. The proposed aluminum storefronts are similar in character to other storefronts located in downtown, and the overall facade features a design of gray, black, and tan that is compatible with the surrounding downtown streetscape. Following any additional information presented at the meeting, the board would have the following options. Option 1, you could approve the application upon finding that the proposed exterior renovation and rooftop modifications will conform with the design guidelines. Option 2, you could approve the application subject to any condition. Option 3, you could postpone consideration for more information. Or option 4, you could deny the application as presented upon making findings of fact for the reason of denial. And staff would recommend option 2, with the condition of approval that if there are any significant changes to the proposed exterior building facade design or materials or the proposed rooftop modifications, that those would be brought to the board's administrative staff to determine whether review is needed by the design review board again. And with that, staff's available for any questions, and the building owner and project architect are both here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you for that. I would like to just invite either the architect or the building owner to kind of comment. Well, one, I have a question about specifically the rooftop. Just kind of elaborate on the penthouse idea, just how much of the rooftop would be usable space. Just kind of go into a little more detail on that if you could.
Maggie Gillum, project architect, and I'll kind of answer architecturally your questions, and then Jessica can maybe answer the design or the use of the building type questions. So I don't know if you want to start with like the penthouse.
Yeah, we know. My name is Jessica Petrosakuma, and I'm the building owner.
So we have an elevator right now that we are putting into the building. The building doesn't currently have an elevator. So we are putting an elevator in that will service all the floors besides the basement, will also service the rooftop. So part of what you're seeing is that elevator penthouse along with 2 stairwells that come up and service as egress out of that space. And I guess if you want to, you can talk about use.
So the proposed use for the penthouse is going to be a rooftop bar. We don't plan on implementing that until, at the earliest, 2026. The main goal is to get the first 2 floors operational before we start expanding into that. It will feature raised areas for live music, And then the garage doors is to be able to use both indoor and outdoor space, also to keep all of the kitchenwares and stuff like that protected from the elements because it's going to be up, and we do get quite a bit of wind and dust. So.
Is the rooftop space going to be climatized, or is it just open air?
Open air. We will probably have space heaters, the outdoor patio heaters, as well as inside the enclosed area.
Yeah, there is a significant amount of enclosed space up there with where the elevator comes up, the stairs come up, there are a couple restrooms, mechanical storage spaces, so all of those will be heated and cooled. Just there is a section that is open that would have varying heating elements depending on time of year.
It looks like, based on the renderings, about maybe 50% of the roof would be kind of that usable space for the bar, and the rest is just the rooftop that exists already there, right?
Correct. The rest would hold the mechanical equipment and other needs that we have to service the building.
Okay. Any ideas on lighting up there? I mean, I know there's some guidelines, but I don't know about rooftop lighting per se, but any ideas right now?
We hadn't really discussed that specifically. It'd probably be more like strands, the larger bulbs.
Like Edison bulb kind of idea?
Yeah, Edison
Okay.
bulbs.
And with review of once there was a building permit, staff would review and see what they were proposing when they got to that point. And if we felt that it was outside the scope of what you're currently seeing, we could bring it back to you as part of the condition of approval. So.
Okay. There's no spotlights up there, I guess, right? No. I wanted to come with like 1,000 questions, but you're very thorough in your work, so I appreciate that of JGR and answered a lot of my questions just in the paperwork. But do you guys have questions?
I have a question, not about the facade, but the rear of the building, the brick that's back there, is there a way to stop it from crumbling?
It's in a pretty advanced state of disrepair. And so we have our structural engineer that's looking at all of that, and they will be proposing either replacement strategies or some sort of plaster or cementitious material that holds it together. We will not be leaving it in the state that it's in.
I didn't figure, but
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad there's solutions.
And just to address the windows on the first floor real quick, and Jessica can kind of talk about what the plans are for that first floor. The drawings that we have from the historic bank only show a couple of penetrations in that wall that faces iron. And there's really no remnants of those original openings there that we can see of. So that paired with the use, we didn't intend to penetrate or make new openings on that facade.
The other reason for not putting windows on it is the first floor is going to be primarily a children's playground. And just to protect the privacy and keep people from just looking in for no reason, we decided not to add extra windows. The 2 windows that we're going to be adding on the Santa Fe side are actually just in a party room. They're not in the playground itself, and those will be able to be covered by curtain or whatnot. But we wanted to be able to view Santa Fe, for during parades or event downtown.
Is that public use space down, or just for the
No,
loft?
it's a party room for the playground.
Well, I'm just saying, is the playground public, or is that for loft residents only?
It's public use.
It is public
Yep.
use, okay.
Yeah, you'll pay an entrance fee, and then you'll be able to use it all day.
Great. Any other questions from fellow board members? Okay. Any questions, I guess, from staff?
Just one other question is there going to be any kind of food service in the rooftop facility, or is it just going to be a drinking establishment only?
Just a drinking establishment. There will be concessions in the first floor in the playground, but the upstairs bar will just be beer and wine and liquor.
So when you submit plans to build the rooftop space, since it will be a drinking establishment, it'll need a conditional use permit, so that'll go to the planning commission. But obviously, that's down the road still, so.
Maybe I'm not seeing it on the rendering, but as far as like safety railings up there for the bar area, what's the plan?
So the parapet is actually, we believe, 42 inches or higher, which would be the guardrail standard. However, if that turns out not to be the case, once we get up there and get the roofing removed and we find out that, say, it's 36, we will be installing new guardrails within that parapet to reach that 42 inches.
Okay. All right. I don't know if there's anyone from Slidell Downtown or public on Zoom.
We do have Miss Bishop from SDI online.
I'll open it up to Leslie if she has any questions. Guess that's a no. Okay. Well, can I get a motion?
She said she does not have any questions.
Okay. For the board members, a motion to approve one of the options.
I move that we approve option 2 with the staff recommendation.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve option 2. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. I go. So approved. All right. Moving on to any administrative items?
We don't have any administrative items or preliminary discussion items. In terms of other business, we'll meet 2 weeks from today, where we'll be considering a sign permit application for a new business downtown next to Apron Springs Apron Strings on South Santa Fe.
Okay. Seeing no other public in the room, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
Moved and seconded, we adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.